Well, I got some more knives. Hell yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and open some of these. Looks like I got one more kitchen knife. So I will go ahead and take care of that as well. Might as well use my Benchman 940. Alrighty, so there is that. And one of those. I think this is the... It's not. Okay, cool. I thought this was the Reichi cleaver, but it is not. It's one of the Desert Ironwood guys. Alright, yeah, this is the fish knife, as they call it. Very semi-flexible. This is not a super flexy kind of thing. Which, I mean, that definitely works a little bit more as a boning knife, but hey, that's a lot of what I end up using things for as well. It does have that sharpening way down there, but not at the heel, for safety and things like that. Yeah, super pretty. I do like it. I'll have to see how this thing works out for me. It's got another one of these blade guards with apples on it. I have another much older knife from TwoSun that has that same kind of blade guard. Alright, what do I have here? Well, it's a Reichi design, but it's one with a much smaller number than all the rest of them, even though it's fairly new. It was one something or other. No, I'm very wrong on that. This is the 361. Okay. There is a Reichi design, I think, that has maybe it's the 175? Not quite sure. But, yeah, this thing does have a lot of interesting machining going on there. As a lot of Reichi designs tend to do. This is definitely a three-finger knife. You can choke up. I certainly won't do that because, well, I basically loathe overgrind finger choils because virtually none of them are large enough for me, so it's just going to end up cutting my hand. But yeah, this is a very, very sheep's foot thing going on here. Fairly thin. What do we got for blade length on this guy? Under 3 inches. That would definitely be why it is not a full 4-finger knife for me. Kind of an interesting flat flipper tab there. Seems maybe a little thicker than it absolutely needs to be. But, I don't know. It's definitely their aesthetic. Yeah, pretty interesting. Well, I might as well keep that open to open up this set here. Let's see. Well, I have a SixLeaf, and yep, it's just as crunched as almost all of them go, which is why I don't like their standard corrugated boxes. And TwoSun, for some of their larger ones, are using one very, very similar to this. I don't like that. But, well, yeah, a little tiny thing here. This is the SL-13. I think they made a few variants of it. They made this one. They made one that has a dash up in the name, but it's just more black than red, but otherwise absolutely everything's the same. And they also have one where the top portions here are carbon fiber, and I think it's like green underneath there. But yeah, it is a cute little Kiridashi-ish knife. Probably recently popular, well, semi-recently popularized by the Best Tech Tulip, and then Civivi made the Kai-V or the Kiev or something, Ki-V, and this is very much in that same kind of style. I generally, and this one's probably going to be the same for me, it's not all that bad, but I generally don't like a liner that has ridges that's proud of the scales, because you're always going to feel that. But this one's pretty interesting, as the blade's angled upwards like a Kiridashi would be. I also pretty much thought that this had a pocket clip on it, and I was thinking that it would be a little bit wider than normal, so people could use it as a money clip or something like that. But that does not seem to be the case. It's a front flipper, but geez, it's so small that I can't do it in a way that really feels super comfortable for me to hold the knife, but at least the deployment of it's pretty darn nice. Stone wash. And obviously the blade does come out past that grind, so that's nice. However, it is dull there, so I don't know if that's purposeful or not. Feels decently sharp. And yeah, it's D2 steel. So there is that little guy. Alright, both of these things weigh a ton. Let's start with the one that weighs a little less. Aha, this is going to be the G10 version of this guy here, the 386 in D2. They make a titanium and carbon fiber variant of it, but it's using AUS 10, which I'm not super jazzed about. I have tried to pick one of them up, but I don't really think I'm willing to pay much more over $100 for it. Just for, you know, the steel that's not going to perform anywhere near as well as this one in D2. And, well, it's fairly new, so you got that new TwoSun tax going on there. We do have some lock bar access there. We got some nice scallops going on for it. Decent action there. I'm still not a huge fan of flipper apparatus, or yeah, like thumb apparatus sort of things, rather than just a stud. It works, but I think it would probably work just as well as if it was just a stud. But this does, however, have the screws on there, so you could probably replace it with just about anything that you want aftermarket. So that's nice. And front flipper works out super great with that. It sticks very proud of the liners there. So a little bit more like a Japanese non-locking friction folder kind of thing there. But obviously this does have a lock. It is a little interesting that it rests on top of the stop pin there at the bottom. Obviously they do that for there. And maybe just a touch too high right there at the very end. But that will probably be fixed by me basically just putting my own edge on there. That'll take that down just a little tiny bit and won't have to worry about anything when it's closed. Oh yeah, I wanted to check blade length on some things. So for this guy, yep, under 2 inches for the blade there. This one, yeah, just a touch over 3.5. So definitely a good big size one. I was actually happy to see them do another kind of budgety knife. I haven't seen one for a while. Everything's been titanium and carbon fiber and a little bit of micarta. But yeah, so this one, or these with the SixLeaf, this one and whatever's in here, I did get off of Amazon, mostly because when something's fairly new, they're really expensive on eBay. And yeah, I've seen the first couple of these at least to go upwards of $100 or something like that. And well, this was 50 there, so I decided to go with that one. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, I still do believe I want to change these a little bit. It does feel like it extends out a little too far in general. And because that's in the blade path there, then yeah, that's going to be kind of an obnoxious problem for trying to make some cuts near the back there that are actually tall. So yeah, I might want to change this up just a little bit, but otherwise I do like the design overall. It's got a nice ergonomic grip to it because the handle's large enough, and wow, it's mounted way back there. Super deep carry, but yeah, that curve doesn't end up hitting you know, my pinky knuckle back there, so nice and comfortable. I like that quite a bit. We got stone washing on the flats here. That's D2 as well. So yeah, I do want to change those thumb studs, but that's about all. And this thing is a beast. I do believe this is a Tepe design. It is, and it's larger than I thought it was. Kerchunk. I'm actually super happy that this is larger than I thought it was. A lot of Tepe designs are just a little touch too small for my hands. Some of them aren't, but this one is definitely a monster. It's button lock. And yeah, this is another one of those that, well, it's in D2. Yeah, there we go. Looks like I got number 95. Looks like they did make a large amount of them in their first run. Contoured micarta to go along with the titanium. It's a little bit polished, but yeah, I mean, TwoSun's micarta generally isn't my favorite, but that's okay. At least it's well done on this. Nice fit and finish with it. I don't really feel any gaps anywhere. Yeah, this is a beast. I can definitely improve the action on this probably a little bit, as you can see there. It's but yeah, you definitely have a lot of centrifugal force to be able to sling that blade out there. Little French fried potatoes. The pocket clip is pretty darn cool on this one. Just looking at it, it looks very easy to deal with getting in and out of the pocket. And it stays mostly out of the way. I can definitely feel it there. It does not disappear, but it's not really giving me anything of what I would consider a hot spot in any of the grips that I want to hold on to this. Oh yeah, what's the number on this one? It's 175. That was, yeah. So this was the 175 with D2 and micarta, but it wasn't this one that I thought was that number. But, hey, I'm glad they you know, start putting the numbers on them now, so that helps me out during some openings. As you've seen on a ton of my other videos, I do end up putting little tiny labels on the pocket clips just so I can easily find them in their particular orders there. But yeah, this one really does surprise me. It is very, very large for a Tepe design. Let's go this way. And yeah, it's basically 3.5 inches there. And this is no frills kind of Tanto. Very much like the traditional, well, at this point, traditional ones that Cold Steel had brought out, where, no fancy grind, just a very sharp, almost vertical drop there to that chisel tip. And you have a heck of a you have a heck of a lot you can sharpen out of this guy, because the plunge line or the plunge grind ends way over there, and you got just days worth of stuff there. And that also helps a bit because you can choke up on this thing, and it's actually not too bad. It might be just a little short for my gigantic fingers, but somebody with normal sized hands, this is definitely super comfortable if you really want to get up there and do something, some sort of heavy duty cuts with kind of the back part there without, trying to push from very far away. But I've been waiting for these things for quite a while. The new shipping method that they use, I think it's China Post rather than Hong Kong Post, because they were rejecting some deliveries several months ago. And the problem is that they're really, really unpredictable. Like, it will get into the country, and at least for me, being where I am, it will come in through either LA or San Francisco. It'll be shipped up to Compton, which is their distribution center for a lot of things. And sometimes it'll be there for a day, and then there's these that sat there for 10 days before they actually moved. So, it's a little hit and miss as far as the reliability of their delivery dates for any of that sort of stuff. But hey, they still get here, and they don't get stopped by customs, so that's nice. I can continue to get them. So, I guess go ahead and lay the stuff out. We got the, I think this is a TS-703 DA for the, it's actually, almost all the rest of these have -DA at the end for Damascus, but not this one. They decided this was a 703-fish. I'm not sure why. I mean, yes, it is a fish/boning knife, but it still is in that Ironwood and Damascus series. But all right, there's that. We got the TS-175, big old chunky Tanto from Tepe Designs. We got the TS-361 from Raihi. Ooh, yeah, that is ground stupid thin. That's nice. Blade stock looks a little thinner than usual. 3.6, maybe 3.7, somewhere right around there, instead of their little bit thicker. We got the, come on, buddy. We got the 386. Hey, that was my second computer. Oh, yeah, I'm old. Oh, well. So, there we go. That's a Wong design. And then, of course, this is a rattlesnake design because it's a SixLeaf. And this is the SL-13 in D2. Whole bunch of D2. Is this guy in D2? No, this one's 14C28N. Okay. So I got at least one of those in Sandvik. They are going to use Sandvik a little bit more, from what I've heard. Different people talking to them and saying that they prefer it. So there's that. Why the more fancy version of this is using AUS 10, I don't know, unless they're planning on making a little bit more budgeter friendly, if that's a word, kitchen knives. Same kind of thing being, let's see, where is that darn thing here? I will find it. There we go. Yeah, there's this guy that I have. Now Nothing really interesting to write home about, but it's using 12C27, and this is a fairly newer knife. The budget version of it, obviously, the original one, an S90V, had been around for quite a while. But they basically did this for a couple of them because they did make a couple of kitchen knives out of 12C27 as well. And I'm kind of assuming that's what they're doing with AOS 10 there. That would be my best guess for that. And that's, well, it's because if you have the option and you're buying from someone who can supply you AUS 8 and 10, it's the same supplier of VG10, so you might as well use that. But at that point, I don't know, like a lot of these knives. These ones actually use 15 CR, 15 MOV, but there's quite a few of their kitchen knives that use 10 CR, 15 MOV, which is equivalent to VG10. And for whatever reason, I don't know necessarily why they haven't tried to do any of the pocket knives out of that same steel there. Maybe they maybe the stock thickness that they get on a lot of these, because they end up grind forging them, is just a little bit too thick to try to manufacture blades out of. I don't know. Kind of interesting. But yeah, I suppose I'll stop rambling. It's this video's probably gone on long enough. Yeah, 21 minutes. That's not super long. So yep, we got some more knives. Hooray! I will have fun cleaning these out and doing some sharpening up on them, and trying to put them through their paces a little bit. Something I did want to just mention with this Tepe one here, and I haven't seen it so much from TwoSun Designs, but I have seen it from stuff like Cold Steel and things like that in the past. This little curve here, right by the handle bolster there, that has an ugly kind of propensity, at least in my experience, to grab onto things like key rings and things like that. So hopefully that won't be the case there. It does look, well, it looks large enough that it would actually grab onto it, but oh well, we'll end up seeing how that ends up working out. But all right, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.